Hey you guys, I know it's been a while since I posted. I told myself that even if I don't do my intros and whatever little editing I was trying to do like in the past, that I would still just record what's been on my mind. And recently it's just feeling stuck again. Sometimes it feels exhausting to be that hopeful, optimistic person, thinking that things will turn around but never knowing when, or always feeling like you're just waiting for things to get better and they don't. I don't know how to sustain feeling confident or at peace consistently enough or long enough for things to actually turn around. And it's like as you get older, it feels more and more impossible to see change. I guess what I kind of been battling with is still not knowing how to live life for myself. Deep down inside, I still feel like this small child who never really gained control, who never really felt confident or even capable of handling independence or, just adulthood in general. And when you're not there mentally and emotionally, it's hard to kind of push yourself or be, is to be disciplined enough to do the things that you need to do to meet your basic needs in terms of living. Just seeing everybody, I guess checking all the boxes of what adulthood is or what we've been told it is, just in terms of having kids, have a family, have a career, get a house, apartment, whatever those things are. Not even being able to do that feels frustrating. I know it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but just as the years go on, it just makes you think, is this what life is? Or even if you're in a situation where you have older family members or family in general that has things going on and you necessarily don't. So your life kind of turns into scrambling around and helping to take care of those family members or helping to meet other people when they have things going on in your life, but you don't necessarily have things going on with you. It can kind of cause a little bit of resentment. Like, obviously you want people to have their own lives, but you kind of want to be able to say that you have your own too. So, like, for me, I've just been isolated, but I want to break out of that. I want to be social. I want to be able to say I have a friend that I could just randomly pick up the phone and call or go out and hang out with. But even that, I tried to just socialize without the expectation of friendship. And I find I'm struggling even just to get people to go out and do basic things or even just basic conversation and having things that are in depth and not like the surface level things that people talk about seems difficult. It used to be so easy just to text back or have a conversation and it not feel like you're begging for people to talk to you. And I know those are small things, especially in terms of adulthood. People have their own lives going on. So as easy as it is for you to say they don't care about you or they're disrespecting you because they can't make time for you, they literally have their own lives going on. And after having that explained, in different specific situations, I realize I can't get upset about that either. But how do I make my life fulfilling enough to where I don't feel like I'm lacking that communication? Or how do I fill my life up with people who care, who are more capable of showing that attention or just that decency and respect? But it's like the longer you're isolated and, being introverted, for me, it just creates all this anxiety about socializing because people will naturally have their own friend groups and you'll feel like awkward joining those friend groups when they're already established. And that's what I'm finding, because I know I don't have to be friends with everybody, but obviously you gotta break the ice to get cool with somebody. But I guess in terms of that, I realized that you can't tell everybody everything, because sometimes they'll use it against you, and obviously that's how you find out they're not your friends. But it's just, it used to be nice to be able to have that person to confide in, and I don't know why I became so afraid of people and of just life, and literally existing feels like a chore. And it feels like I don't, even though obviously your existence is proof that you have a place in this world, but it's being able to have the acknowledgement and awareness of what that is. And it could be as small as having a couple of people in your life that appreciate you, or even if you do something big that helps a lot of people. I'm just finding it challenging to discover my place in the world. And I'm trying to think, I was going to go somewhere else with that. Yeah, I don't know. But let me see what else. I guess the other thing is just feeling money. It feels like it's the answer to everything, but sometimes even after getting it, you realize it's not. But I can't even relate. I understand it, but I can't even relate, because I hate when people say stuff like that. And I'm like, literally, this is the answer to all my problems, to moving out, to being debt free. I just had a salad. Don't judge me. It feels like it's the answer to everything. And when you're working nonstop at something at a place that doesn't even help you make a living, it can make you feel like, what am I doing this for? You just want so badly to at least be even, like break even. Because when you don't have that surplus and you're sitting there just trying to pay the minimum, because that's all you can do, and by the time you pay everything, your check is basically gone. You have no way to get a head start. And it's very frustrating. Sorry for not looking at you guys. That's just sometimes when I think I'm just saying it and don't want to be completely awkward staring at you guys the whole time. But sorry, I'm about to yawn. It's just exhausting. For me, I made choices when I was younger, credit cards, whatever. And even buying a car, it was fairly new, but I realized I didn't need to buy as new as I did. I could have got something cheap, had it paid off, been saving those car payments that I'm still paying. But I thought I wanted to treat myself. I think that's where I would change or give advice to anybody who's getting their first car. You don't need the most luxurious thing, but if you do get it, just have enough saved, have a plan to get it down by a certain time. Don't kill yourself and then you be struggling to do everything else. Because if I look back now, for the last years, I could have had that money saved. I could have been moved out already and doing so many other things, or traveled, or paid that money into something else that would have really brought me to another place in life than where I'm at. But again, that's still part of adulthood, and just everybody will just say, oh yeah, you gotta work, just save your money. Yeah, it's easy to do that and easy to say that, but it's still not really giving a guide on how to balance everything, or even just don't use credit. It's just really, to me, it's a scam. I feel like we didn't really need it. I mean, obviously within reason, it helps build your credit score and all that other stuff. And I guess they say you need it for certain things, but if you don't have the cash in the same amount to pay it right off, it's not worth it. If you really needed it, you could just pay in cash. That's one thing I would have told myself, but it is what it is. It's just hard because I've had so many game plans of things to help myself be debt free, and every time I get close, it's like something else comes to break me down, or another opportunity falls through that would have gotten me where I needed to be. And it's exhausting to have to keep working long days to still come short. I'm sorry, the camera angles are all off or whatever. I'm just really into the thoughts. But I don't know. I'm just gonna make sure I'm not crying in this video. That's the only thing that I have to say. But yeah, this is just me rambling. The stuff that's been on my mind. Saying that everybody's kind of going through stuff. Oh, that's the other thing. Like, back to the friend stuff. Everybody's going through something. I know when you're in your own life and reflecting on your own problems, it feels like you against the world. But we're all human. We're all having those experiences. It's just not everybody shows it. But sometimes our mind will make it seem like our issues are so amplified, because obviously we're the center of our own world. So we'll compare everything to ourselves, if that makes sense. But if you have like this negative bias, you're automatically gonna feel like, oh, they're just discarding me, or they don't really care about me, when they're a whole person. Maybe if you ask them what's going on with them, they would tell you their issues that they have going on. So it's not just people's behavior isn't always just automatically targeted towards hurting you. It's really, if you have that victim mentality to say all of that stuff is against you, then you would think that way. But a person in a more positive mindset wouldn't even go there. Like, you wouldn't even have the capacity to think that it means something negative towards you. Like, an example was, I was watching this video with this guy. He was blind, and he was just describing different people, but obviously he can't see people, so he doesn't have that same bias. He was more speaking in awe of people just by like feeling them. Like, he talked about how he felt a black person's hair for the first time, and he was just so intrigued and interested. And the way that he was describing it, you could see how genuine and how appreciative he was, just studying people through his hands. And I felt like that video could literally dissolve discrimination or any biases in just one shot, because when you don't even have the capacity to see certain things, you have to see in a different way. So he just had this way about him that just kind of dissolved some of my biases. And I never really had anything against anybody of any race, but I know a lot of times I'll judge people from a place of me being insecure and me lacking confidence and me being antisocial. It's me telling myself that I'm not good enough, that people won't like me, or that I don't have anything in common because I'm not like them. Meanwhile, I haven't even gotten to know the person, don't know anything about them, or maybe I just had one experience where they did something that I didn't like, but it didn't necessarily mean that they're a bad person. It just means the act that they committed, whether it was towards me purposely or indirectly, it still wasn't a true marker of their character. But I just took one little thing that I saw and ran with it, and then just projecting all this negativity, mentally arguing with people, meanwhile kind of treating them with a cold shoulder in person, and them just feeling like, oh, she's just not a people person, or she's just not pleasant, or whatever they would say about people who are quiet and keep to themselves. A lot of times it bothers people, but they never really know what you're really about. And I think that's the main part. People just want to know your business to kind of be able to have an idea of who you are. And it's up to you if you allow them in, but just don't try to discount people before you even giving them a chance. So yeah, back to the blind guy. I probably might do a reaction video if I could figure out how to do that with the video, and then pause it and discuss like the different things that he was saying, because it was really thought-provoking, and it helped me understand how we could judge people without ever truly getting to know them. Most times we take our assumptions and our beliefs and project it onto others. Meanwhile, that person could give you a whole different side of them if you just were open to it. So I don't even think I'm gonna put a title. I'm just gonna post this and see. Maybe I'll get some views picked up and some responses and reactions, but if not, it's really just me expressing myself in a way that I haven't been able to in a while. So yeah, I think that's it for now. I gotta look at my other notes and see what else I would want to talk about, but yeah, this is just me posting something to post it. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one.